All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is 5 p.m. West Coast time. Let's see, I'm going to say it's 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Matt Statter. This is Chatter with Statter, and we are here today after a Statter box at the cinema last night. Powwow Highway did not get me banned. Yay! And it looks like we've got Gina in the house. And it looks like Deb Case is on the YouTube side saying aloha, everybody. And what's even better is I can see the YouTube chat on the Twitch chat, which is not what happened last Wednesday. I don't know what I did to make it better. I don't think I did anything to make it better. I think it might have fixed itself. I don't know. But what I do know is Andre's in the house, gifting Michael Anthony Smith a subscription. Thank you so much, Andre, for that gift sub. It reminds me, I need to figure out how to fix my little emote explosion, because they don't seem to explode everywhere. They stop before they get to the edge of the thing, which is kind of strange. But alas, lots of technical things I don't understand. We will talk about some technical things I don't understand in a little bit. But before we do that, I'm going to say, hey, Felicia Nichols. Good to see you coming in from Wahoo. And so we've got Deb K saying hello. We've got Gina saying hello. Andre didn't say hello, but he gave a gift. And so I'm going to say hello to Andre anyways. Now, let's see here. While we've got people hanging out, maybe we should get the party started. Boop. All right, there we go. Shock is in the house, banning bots. And Deb coming in from Kentucky. Awesome, Deb. You know, I gotta say, Kentucky and Tennessee were way prettier states as I was driving through them. They were way prettier than I gave them ever mental credit for. Especially Tennessee, actually. Tennessee was remarkably... I was really surprised at how pretty Tennessee was. Kentucky, though, definitely a close second. Southern Illinois, on the other hand, no, not Southern Illinois, sort of just above Southern Illinois. Oh my God, you guys. That's the flattest earth I've seen in my flippin' life. So much flat. In every direction. So much flat. The sky, so big. Kind of scary, actually, because, you know, I'm from the land of trees where the sky is not nearly as large. And let's see here. Shock, pretty flat here. The hills get your attention. Yeah, but at least they have hills. Like the particular area of the country I'm referring to. I call it Southern Illinois, but people from Southern Illinois are just like, no. Southern Illinois has hills. So I guess it's like mid-south or north-south, northern Southern Illinois. Yeah, Carbondale apparently is got the little rolling hills. It's north of Carbondale that I'm talking about, where it's just like, it is flat, there is so much flat, and when it's done being flat, it manages to be flatter still, longer, flatter, longer, sort of like that. And let's see here. But hey, Cindy Krause, good to see you in the house. All right, you guys. So we have some good tech news, which looks like the YouTube side is coming in on the Twitch side. Now, I guess actually the real question is the Twitch side coming over on the YouTube side? I don't know. So I'm going to check right now, which is what I'm doing right now. So we're going to do all of the chats, and it looks like the chat from Twitch is indeed coming through on the YouTubes. And let's see here. Deb Case, Northern Illinois. Well, I can't say it's Northern Illinois because I've never been to Northern Illinois. So I guess we're left with Central Illinois. I guess is what we're well left with. So, Northern Southern Illinois, aka Central Illinois, very flat. Flat. So, let's see here. Now, since Shock is in the house and she is a little bit of a technical person, I'm going to ask Shock a question. However, anybody who knows the answer will, first off, okay, anybody who has input on this topic, by all means, throw it out there because I don't know nothing. But what is a bit rate for my stream? Let me give you context to the question. So whenever I do a stream here, I eventually get a summary of my stream here in my mail. And it gives me a warning that about my bit rate. And my bit rate is like over 6,000. It's usually like 6,700 and change is what my bit rate is. And it gives me a warning about it. Twitch is like, no, we don't like that. Now, I looked up the things, and apparently Twitch doesn't like a bit rate above 6,000. And so my bit rate is at 6,700. So, how do I fix that? And is it that big of a deal that I fix that? Because it doesn't seem like it matters. And Shock's like, I need to set up a call with Shock on Discord. Okay. And yeah, exactly, Andre. I drive fast in a car and I drive fast on Discord. And Shock is saying, yes, I should fix it. It will make my stream more robust. What do you mean by that? I don't understand. My stream more robust? I don't, right, Cindy, I'm like, okay, okay, oh, a robust stream, right, yeah, fewer things will fall out of my shopping cart, but I don't have a shopping cart. I don't have a shopping cart, and I've got no dropped frames. My dropped frames are 0%. Is that what you mean by a shopping cart? And yeah, it's a metaphor, I know, but I'm still not understanding how to apply the metaphor. And Andre, you are reading my mind. You know, I don't really feel like I want to be more robust for some reason. Yeah, I feel like I'm already too robust for some people. In fact, actually, I know I'm too robust for some people. Which you would think that I would think that more bitrate would make you more robust, but apparently not. So, okay. We are getting nothing dealt with on that other than, yeah, you need to fix that. Okay, so I'm sending, okay, here's something I guess I can understand. I'm sending more information and data than I need to for what I'm doing. Okay, so after this, I'll see if I can fiddle with my Twitch settings, I guess, and adjust my bit rate on my Twitchies. I guess. Okay, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll try to thinking about doing. All right, there we go. We're clear on that. Yeah, I know where you're at. I will see if I can figure it out on my own, and then you'll hear from me. I'm fairly certain you will hear from me. And Cindy Krause, no worries, Mad Satter. It's AI Greek that geeks understand precisely. And I'm just like, I know enough to be dangerous and to fake my way into a more dangerous zone. There we happen. So, all right, you guys. Oops. Let's see here. So it's quarter after 5, and I've got a couple things to talk about today, but not a whole lot to talk about. But before we talk about anything, I figured, we could just go on a quick little drive. I went on a drive yesterday. No, that's not true. I went on a drive the day before yesterday, and it was a very pretty, on the verge of fall day. September is quite a lovely, lovely time of year here in Seattle, and I do enjoy getting videos of this time of year because it is quite beautiful. However, I went out with the intention of making a video, but I did know that my windshield needed to be cleaned very badly before video was made, right? So I go to the gas station and to clean my windshield, and they have no way to clean the windshield. So I was like, all right, whatever. And so I carried on because I was like, well, I know of a different gas station that's on my route that I'll do. So I tried to do that, but then boom, the second gas station, still nothing to clean my windshield. And at that point, there was really no more gas stations on my route that I was going to be doing, and I was kind of annoyed, but I said, you know what, screw it. Anyway, I'm going to take the video. So I have a 5-minute little video of going from one part of West Seattle to another part of West Seattle, and it's nothing fancy pants by any stretch, but it is going over. We will be going from one slope up to the highest high point of Seattle, literally the highest point in Seattle, and then we'll be coming back down the high point. Because for those of you who aren't familiar with the Seattle landscape, there is this stretch of land that runs from West Seattle all the way down through the county to Pierce County to Federal Way, and it's called the High Line. And so we are going to be cresting the High Line and then going down the other side. And shock, am I going near the fish ladder? No, nowhere near the fish ladder. Fish ladder's on the other end of town. The fish ladder's at the Ballard Locks at Golden Gardens. No fish ladder. This is not only there's no reason for fishies to have to transverse this particular hill. So we're gonna go on a quick little 4-minute drive, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Boop. By the way, that chicken place, Ezel's Chicken, is world famous. Oprah Winfrey sends away for it. She loves it so much, she actually gets it delivered. Now, I need you to not notice the dirty windshield. You see that dirty windshield? No, you don't. Just look past it. Look through it. You don't see the dirty windshield. Except for when you do, but you don't. I'll just tell you that right now, you don't see it. Take the long and the winding road home. Oh, and another thing that you don't see in this video is the sunshine. It's rainy. Do you notice how it's just so rainy? Because it's always rainy in Seattle, you see. So this is actually rain. The sky that you think you see as blue, no, it's not blue. I mean, it is, but don't trust your lion eyes. It's really rainy. See, it's rainy. Look at the rain. It's rainy, except for when it's sunny, like now. But no, it's rainy because it's Seattle. It's rainy.
Change is a constant reminder, we are the same.
Yeah, Andre, I don't know if you're familiar with the rules and regulations of the Western Washington, but it's required to rain in June. In fact, it's required to rain up until July 4th. July 5th is when our summer officially starts. We have an agreement with Mother Nature. It's in the law book. It's in the rule book. You have to rain in June. Always rain in June.
It's okay if we treat each other well. It's okay if we
Thanks, Deb. It is beautiful. West Seattle is very beautiful, and this is purely very much West Seattle, and all the different colored trees. You know, it's got the early fall colors. You got the blue sky. Okay, you got the we're pretending it's rainy sky, but it's blue. And see, there we've got a cow on the roof. A cow on the roof. It's my favorite building. It used to be a deli, and then it was a whiskey tasting place, and now it's a pizza pasta place. And I preferred it at the deli, but the pizza pasta place is the next best thing. The stupid whiskey tasting room was a dumb idea. And guess what? It went out of business because it was a dumb idea. And so we've just crossed over the highest point in Seattle, and now we're going down, 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 down to the Del Ridge Valley with the Longfellow Creek watershed, which anybody who has spent any time on this stream, you might have heard me talk about the Longfellow Creek watershed. And so after we go through this little semi-flat zone, we're just going to head downhill towards the valley. But we're not going to go to the valley because, well, you'll see why. You'll see why. And I know that it looks like I was flying down that hill, but I actually wasn't. I wasn't doing more than 25 miles an hour. It looks like I'm doing way faster. Cindy Krause, how come they get the trees in the middle of the road? It's to slow people down, because otherwise people like me would just go down the hill super fast. So it's a traffic slowing measure. And there we go. All right. So, yes, Andre, it does look like when you take a wrong turn and go exploring, and you do remember the trees in the middle of the road. Yeah. So that is a fairly typical West Seattle neighborhood. As you might have noticed, going up the hill, the houses were a smidge nicer because they're on the side of the hill that has the view of the Puget Sound and the salt water. You cross the high point and you start coming down the hill. The houses are still nice, but not as nice as the ones with the view. And welcome to West Seattle. That's how that works. In regards to, Shock, what you're talking about, you were on the south end of the city at the Communications Museum. Ballard Locks is at the north end of the city. And so, yes, there is a huge set of hills between where you were and where the locks are, because you see, Seattle was built on 7 different hills. So we've got West Seattle Hill, which is the one that we just went over, which was the tallest hill. Then we've got Capitol Hill, and then we've got First Hill, and then we've got Denny Hill, but Denny Hill no longer exists. It's they mowed it down with water, and so now that's known as the Denny Regrade. Then you've got Queen Anne Hill, and you've got Magnolia Hill, and you've got Beacon Hill. So those are the 7 hills that are between where, well, okay, Magnolia Hill and West Seattle Hill were not between the museum you were at and the locks. But these other 5 hills, they were. So yes, plenty hills between where you were and they were. But those hills aren't what the fish ladder goes over. And Andre, you also remember seeing lots of dead ends in West Seattle as well. Absolutely. Tons of dead ends in West Seattle. Actually, a lot of dead ends in a lot of Seattle streets, because Seattle is built on a lot of steep hills, and there comes a point where the ravines are just too ravine-y and too unstable, so you can't build the street downward. And so, you know, the street ends. The street just ends, and then you gotta figure another way to get over there. So close, yet so far away. I see where I need to be. I just don't see how to get there from here because there's a big old ravine in between me and them. And let's see here. Mad Statter, is the Ballard locks the same as the Chittenden locks? Yes, absolutely, they are the same. They are the same. The Chittenden locks, I think, are like who designed them, whereas the Ballard locks is like where they're at. But same locks. Same locks. In fact, those locks were built for, gosh, you know, if I'd known we were talking about this, I would have gotten maps because you know how I love maps. But I don't have any maps right now, so we're going to have to just envision with your mind's eye, right? Okay, so Seattle is built on a very narrow strip of land. And on one side of the land is Lake Washington. And on the other side of the land is the Puget Sound. Lake Washington is freshwater, Puget Sound is saltwater. And somebody decided one day that they wanted to connect the two bodies of water. And so the locks were built for that. And so shipping could take place without having to traverse that strip of land in between that is Seattle. And so the locks sort of they connect the salt and the fresh water. And so there you go. If I had a map, I would show you much better. And let's see here. We went to the little museum and it was very, yes, it is. Yeah, the Army Corps of Engineers is who built the locks. And so let's see here. Andre, you like in Amsterdam? It's like in Amsterdam, you know where you want to be, but there's some kind of barrier in Amsterdam. It's canals, right? It's canals in Amsterdam. In Seattle, it's hills and body of water. Exactly. And let's see here. Shock bragging about 3,000 views on a video of me and my friend failing to operate the demo of locks intended for kids. Nice. Too smart for your own good, eh? Hey, C Honda, good to see you coming in on the YouTube side. We are right now talking about the Ballard locks, and Shock is confessing that she may or may not know how they work. I'm sure she knows how they work. I guess what she's confessing is she just couldn't make them work. I personally have never been on a boat that's gone through the locks, but I have watched it. And I have to say, whoever thought of the concept of how locks work between two bodies of water, they're way smarter than me. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are way smarter than me, so what I'm saying is just stating the obvious, right? But wow, man, how did you guys think of that? But yeah, there we go. And so let's see, your Shock. We found the arrows on the control board to be pointing the opposite way as we expected. And, all right, there we go. Oh, Pacola T, you can't believe you can detect enough to say hello. Lurking from the high seas. Pacola T, so where you at besides in the high seas? Are you in the Ballard locks? Is that where you're at? Are you in the Ballard locks? We're talking about Ballard locks right now. I know you're not there, but I'm just joshing. But if you can say roughly where you're at, I'm in the middle of the Pacific. Oh my goodness, it's the Indian Ocean for me. I'd be super stoked because I had no idea that you were going to be out and about. And let's see here. C Honda, locks are exciting until you hit about the 21st one. Yeah, I can only assume that it gets a little tedious, right? I mean, it's just you just basically have to, it's like a stairway basically for ships, and it's the stairway keeps going up. Oh, okay, Pacola T, you left Boston on a cruise. I have to say, I don't think of Boston as a cruise port of call. obviously I'm not on the East Coast, and I know nothing of East Coast based cruises, but really, Boston, a cruise, huh? Where do those cruises go? And yeah, Boston has a big honkin' harbor. Yeah, I'm not at all surprised. I just don't. I just, you know, when I think of cruises, I think of like Caribbean cruises or like Alaskan cruises, and where do Boston cruises go to? I mean, do they go out and look for the whalers? The Boston whalers? Get it? It's a boat. Anyway, there was a big party there in Boston in the late 18th century. Yeah, Baltimore also has cruise ship ports. Also not a city I would typically think of as being a port of call on a cruise line. I mean, I like I said, I know nothing of East Coast cruising, clearly. And so I'm just curious, like, where do these East Coast cruises go? I mean, Andre's assuming Europe. That was my assumption as well, but is that where they go? I don't know. It never occurred to me that there would be cruises out of Boston. And it's got a big honking airport, so passengers can fly. No, it makes sense. Okay, so they go across. Oh, they actually do go down to the Caribbean? Weird. I would think, like, why wouldn't you just go to Florida? And really, they have cruises from Florida to Europe as well. Wow, see, I'm clueless. I know nothing about the cruise scene at all. There's nothing about cruises that I'm familiar with. I mean, other than, well, in Seattle, they stop before they go to Alaska. We've got cruise ships that go to Alaska. That's about, I think, all I know. And actually, the cruise ships that come to Seattle might not go to Alaska. I just kind of assume they all did, now that I think about it. But you know what? I will tell you this. There's this one cruise ship. I haven't seen it in a while. Doesn't mean it's not here. But there's this one cruise ship that was in... okay, so New England and Canada, Piccola T. See, those answers make way more sense to me than the UK or Europe. Thank you, Piccola T, for coming in with the real deal. And so, let's see though, what was I saying? Cruises. Oh yeah, so there was this cruise ship that was in Seattle for a while, in the port, I don't know, a week or so. And it was the most ghetto looking cruise ship I've ever seen in my life. Next to the sparkling white Princess Cruises and Norwegian Lines and all the other fancy pants, super huge white, double, triple pool whatevernesses that would come into the Seattle port. This was a black, like a primered black tanker is what it looked like, right? I mean, it didn't park with the rest of the weird tankers. It was over in the cruise ship thing. So it was a cruise ship, right? You know, but it looked like, I don't know, World War II era Polish, Russian, Gestapo, whatever. Okay, the Gestapo wasn't Russian. Gulag. It looked like a gulag prison, ship. And so I was joking about how ghetto that ship looked to a kayak instructor, and that kayak instructor laughed, and he was just like, dude, and I can't remember what he called the boat, but he knew the boat, and he was like, that is the most exclusive cruise you can get on. That boat is the most expensive, only the highest end people get on that boat. All of the other, like, sparkly ships, that's for the white trash people who think they're fancy. That, like, armored tank of a whateverness apparently was the boat to be on. And so I don't know what made it better than all the other ones. I don't know how much more expensive it was, but apparently I got the impression that not only did I not know what I was talking about, I was so white trash that I shouldn't even be looking at that boat. I don't have enough money in my bank account to even acknowledge the presence of that boat in my realm. So I wish I could remember what the name of the boat was, but quite honestly, like, you look at it and it's just like, I don't even know if that thing's seaworthy. And yeah, apparently very seaworthy. Apparently very worthy. More worthy than I'm worthy. Apparently. Yes, yeah, yes. Yes, exactly, Andre. The ghetto boat was rich and the other boats were ghetto. That's exactly it. And let's see here. A friend of yours has been on that boat a bunch of times, and I just try not to think about it. I'm assuming you mean the Queen one that you're talking about, because since we don't know what boat I'm talking about, I assume you're talking about the Queen one. And who knows, I could have been talking about the Queen Mary. Actually, I don't remember what he said the name was. It was many years ago. But I do know that, well, I don't know, but I sure got the impression that I wasn't worthy. I wasn't worthy. And Cindy Krause, anybody here other than myself remember the Lurleen? No. What is the Lurleen? Tell me about Lurleen. Oh, wow. We're just going to pretend like I didn't do that. Let's see here. Shock. The Queen Mary 2 is black and is the flagship of the Cunard line. Okay. And then the Queen Mary is down in Los Angeles and it is black. Picola T, losing signal. Have a great week, y'all. Okay, Picola T, thank you so much for stopping by. And, okay, and Andre, the Lurleen is a Mason Line cruise ship that went from Hawaii to the West Coast. Okay, and Cindy coming in with the Lurleen was on the dock was when she was a kid. All right, what I'm going to do right now, though, even though I shouldn't, because my mouse is now weird, I want to look up a picture of the Queen Mary. So I'm going to Google it while we're sitting here just chatting about things and stuff. Queen Mary cruise. Oh, no, I don't think that the Queen Mary... No, I don't think that was it. It might have been, but I don't think so. I don't think that the Queen Mary was the black one that I saw. Then again, it was so long ago, maybe that was. Hey, Deb Case, gotta go. All right, well, thanks for coming in. Super stoked you were here. Hope to see you on Wednesday, which is the next time we've got Chatter with Statter. And let's see here. Cindy Krause, they would throw streamers to the shore. We would hang on till the string burst. Right, yeah, I've seen that. I remember, I've seen that in movies. I remember they used to do that. And, let's see here. No longer in service. Matson Line stopped in the 70s. It was the classic way to get to Hawaii before the jets took all the business. Makes sense. I mean, what? The cruise would probably take 2 or 3 days, whereas the jets only take 8 hours? 6 hours? 8 hours, depending on where you're flying from. Let's see here. It was a real fancy ship for the day. Yeah, I bet it was. I bet. Well, actually, I mean, how much fancier can ships get from what they used to be, right? I mean, we've all seen pictures of the Titanic. We've all seen pictures, we've seen movies of the Titanic. That was 100 years ago, and that was a flippin' fancy ship. I mean, super flippin' fancy. That's right. I brought out the double Fs. It was flippin' and flirpin' fancy. So, how much fancier? I mean, like, for back in the day, I mean, they're fancy. They just fancy. Okay, true. They could come without the norovirus. That would be a level of fancy I would appreciate. That is true. But aside from that, aside from details of that, as far as like amenities and hoity and toity, I mean, they were already at a hoity and toity level of utmost. How could you get hoitier and toitier? Okay, Gina, true. Sans icebergs, also good. But, you know, if you're floating around in the Caribbean, chances are you're not going to see an iceberg. And if you do, we've got bigger problems than norovirus. Speaking of norovirus, though, have you guys ever had norovirus? It sucks. I got it once, at least once. And it was very unpleasant. I would definitely not want to be on a cruise with that. Let's see here. So, Andre coming in with the Smart Lurleen was legendary on the Hawaii run, offering warm hospitality and pleasant diversions on a 5-day express crossing from San Francisco and Los Angeles to Honolulu, as well as occasional cruises including the neighbor islands. The time spent on board was as much a part of the Hawaiian holiday as a day at Waikiki Beach. Well, I would think so at 5 days each. Shoot. The original Lurleen developed serious engine problems in '63 and was replaced by twin sister Monterey, which took her popular name and remained in service until 1970. Gotcha. And let's see here. Shock reminding me that the ship has to keep you busy or you'll never go back on another cruise. True. And you spent most of your time fixing computers on your recent vacation. Well, you know, hey. Hey, speaking of which, okay, so guys, this is kind of a personal topic, but whatever, bear with me. Hey, Shock, did you ever teach Cindy how to download that PDF that I sent her? Because I think she needs help. All right, there we go. Personal conversation done with. All right, so it looks like it's 5:40, which means it's almost bar time. That's right, bar time. What are you talking about? I'm talking about my bar time, man. I'm talking about the one and only, the legendary Wah Kue. And the Wah Kue is my local watering hole. It has been around since 1952, 71 years. It has not changed one bit. And then I went and videotaped it. So you guys are going to see just what the Kue looks like when you come in through the front door. However, you're not going to really see what the bar looks like because I didn't want to videotape any of the regulars without their permission. So we didn't really get a lot of the bar. But anyway, it's a quick little video about Wah Kue, coming into Wah Kue, getting ready to maybe order some shrimpy shrimps or some drinky drinks. Boop. All right, so there we go. Yeah, that we call it the Kue. But it's actually Wah Kue. And the regulars at the bar, we, okay, so our bar is kind of weird. We really like watching Jeopardy. Every weeknight at 7:30 p.m. we watch Jeopardy. And so everybody at the bar, you know, we shout out our answers. And so we call our little Jeopardy group, we call ourselves the Wah Crew. Sort of like Motley Crue, only it's the Wah Crew. And yeah, we watch Jeopardy. And we're geeks like that. We watch Jeopardy. It's, even though they like to pretend they're a sports bar, the most played sport on their screens is Jeopardy, and it's not really a sport, but we like to pretend it is. So, and let's see here. Andre, you like bar because those booths were made when people were smaller. Yeah. Yeah, the chairs are quite comfortable, but you have to have a tinier arse to be comfortable in those chairs. So let's see here. All right, so, okay, so now, Andre, when you went the last time, you made a beeline to Wah Kue to eat the sweet and sour at the bar and have a PBR. Yep, there you go. That's it. Sweet and sour. Sweet and sour shrimp is definitely my favorite there. And speaking of shrimp, you guys, there was a method to this madness. So speaking of shrimp, I've got a little video on how to choose the freshest shrimp. But before we go into that, I have a couple things to say. First off, Wah Kue, I don't know where they get their shrimp, but their shrimp is consistently delicious. Sometimes, you know, shrimp can have an off taste, a dirty water taste maybe, or just sometimes, you know, like, I don't know where they get their shrimp, but their shrimp has always been sweet and perfect and delicious. What I can tell you for certain is they're not getting their shrimp from Burning Man. Burning Man, as you guys may know, had a major flood, and people are now just getting out of the area. But in its torrential downpour, there was little, you know, dried up eggs of fairy shrimp. And these things are called fairy shrimp. And they, during Burning Man, because of the rains, the eggs, you know, rehydrated and they turned into their little selves. And this is the little fairy shrimp when it's tiny, and they swim, I guess, upside down. Maybe that's why they get the name fairy shrimp, because like their legs are like little fairy wings. I don't know why they're called fairy shrimp, but they're called fairy shrimp. And so they basically started to emerge from the mud. People obviously were taking pictures of them. I'm fairly certain nobody ate them, because I don't think you're supposed to consume them, but they are actually apparently delicious. Like, if you've got, I guess there's certain, you know, turtles and reptiles and other things that, you know, love these little things. They're good pet food, apparently. But, yeah, and Andre, I don't know if these are called brine shrimp or not, because brine shrimp kind of implies semi-salt water, whereas these aren't in salt water. They're in very different water. Yeah, they're in alkalized water for sure. But I wouldn't probably want to eat them for a couple reasons. Mostly because they look to be mostly shell, and not a whole lot of meat. And then even if there was meat, I don't know if I'd want to eat them or not. But shock, Twitter let loose on people complaining about Burning Man. Yeah, well, I mean, exactly, sea monkeys. That's what they are, exactly. I don't complain about Burning Man. I just make fun of the burners, because the burners to me are a bunch of tech bros who feel obliged to pay thousands of dollars just to like be forced to live a creative artistic life for 2 weeks out of the year. The tickets to Burning Man are $575 a person, not to mention all the expense that it takes to get there and to survive while you're there, because you got to bring in your own food, you got to bring in your own everything, and you're supposed to take everything with you. Well, this year, that did not happen. In fact, a lot of old school burners are wagging fingers at the new flippin' burners who left their crap, because leave no trace is one of the ethics in theory, one of the ethics behind that Burning Man festival. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, was there a trace or a billion traces left this year. Abandoned cars, abandoned camps, abandoned camping gear, abandoned dressers, abandoned rugs, abandoned whatever. It's been abandoned in the desert. So the organizers of this year's Burning Man are going to have a fork ton of work, much more work than they're used to cleaning up the event. I have no doubt in my mind that next year's Burning Man will happen as usual, but I kind of hope they don't. It doesn't, actually. So, there you go. There you go. And shock, yeah, that's just what Twitter was kind of saying about it. And then, wah, it rained, and wah, mud, and people walked out 6 whole miles. I know, 6 whole miles. Although, actually, to tell you the truth, walking 6 whole miles in slippery, sticky mud is not something I would want to do. Now, I'm not suggesting that it's the worst thing that's ever going to happen in those people's lives. Well, actually, it might be the worst thing that happens in those people's lives now that I think about it. But I mean, it's definitely survivable. But it is, I mean, it's not a simple walk in the park. But at the same time, it's just like, because I'm petty like that. And yeah, exactly, Andre. It's been going on for 37 years. It will continue to go on. Well, and it's a huge moneymaker. I mean, 30,000 tickets were sold at $575 a pop. You do the math on that. Do the math on that. Yeah, a lot of money is made at Burning Man. So yeah, I know, exactly, Gina. A little bit of Schadenfreude. Exactly. So... And yeah, exactly, Shock. The walk would definitely suck, but yeah, it's not like they were gonna die. And yeah, and Chuck, they're probably not gonna spend all the money on cleanup, because there's a lot of money in Burning Man. But yes, a lot of money will be spent on the cleanup, without a doubt, because there are, as much as I was just all about the burners, there are actual burners who are staying behind to make sure that the point of ethic of leave no trace is followed. So those people, those legit burners, are doing their part. But the ones who skedaddled on out of there, yeah, those, I was watching an interview with one of the guys who stayed behind. He's just like, those just weren't real burners. And I do feel like a lot of people who go to the festival clearly don't embody the spirit the way the original burners do. And by the way, it sort of sounds like I'm using a derogatory term by calling them burners. No, that's what they call themselves. And in fact, in order to get tickets, you have to create a burner profile on the main website page thing. So even though, like, it sounds like I'm a burner this, burner that, no, dude, that's what they're called, actually. Like, you need to create a burner profile, and so, though it sounds disparaging, it's actually what they call themselves. Just to be clear. And Andre, the $500 is the base, right? Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's That's your body's ticket in. That's not your car's ticket in. Your car needs a separate ticket, which is like $150 for parking and this other thing. Yeah, you cannot spend less than $1,000 going to Burning Man. Period. End of story. And if you only spend $1,000, you are on a Burning Man tight budget. It is very expensive, a very expensive privilege to go to Burning Man. Very expensive privilege, which is why apparently the median age was 37-year-old, white, male, tech bro, who run, like literally it is this, it's a tech bro. Only people with tech money can afford to go to Burning Man these days. And so I'm not really surprised that tech bros aren't necessarily down with the burner philosophy of 37 years ago, leave no trace, blah, blah, blah. Tech bros literally were born, the average age of the goer of that festival was actually the age of the festival. And let's see here. All the old school people loved it because so many of the people left. Right, and when the man finally got burned, it was said it was more like the old days. Exactly. I'm not at all surprised. And let's see here. Andre, the highest level of people of color at Burning Man was about 2%. Yeah, so once again, very white, very rich, very tech bro oriented. And and Chuck, I'm not a big fan of tech bros, and I kind of are one without the money. Exactly. And tech bro, though, tech bro isn't it. How am I trying to say this? Tech bro is as much a mindset as it is a set of job circumstances. So, though you can technically, Shock, be in the vague category of tech bro, you're not of the tech bro mindset. Because it's really it's like a half step adjacent from frat bro to tech bro. And you were never frat bro, right? So you're just, you don't have that on ya. And yeah, I know that your money has depended on the internet since 93. I'm not arguing that. That definitely puts you in the tech bro camp, but it's not, you might reside, but you don't reside in that camp, if that makes any sense. And let's see here. Shock. Oh, that explains that frat tech bro in my dojo. See, that's what I'm talking about. The frat tech bro. The frat tech bro. And Andre can't be a tech bro unless you're a white guy, mostly. For the most part, yeah. And so, I mean, not trying to judge you by your genitals, Shock, but you don't got the right parts to be a full on tech bro, dude. I mean, I may sound like a full on tech bro, dude, but I'm not for so many reasons. And and Chuck, a neck beard puts you into both categories. Now, hey, wait a second. I've got myself a pretty good neck beard going on, and I don't really know if I want to consider myself a tech bro. My neck beard does not make me a tech bro. I don't have nearly the technical knowledge. I mean, don't you remember our conversation about bit rates earlier on the stream? Goodness gracious. All right, so my neck beard notwithstanding, there was a method to the madness going into this conversation that somehow scattered shock. I was going to talk about shrimp. Like, we started talking about tech bros and neck beards, but actually I was going to talk about shrimp, and I was going to show you this video on how to buy good shrimp. So let's see here. Bastard operator from hell. Tech bros want to be bastard operators from hell, but they're not worthy. True. And there we go. And yeah, hey, Andre, I got a bit of a beard, but I've got too much brown and I'm not good at math. So yeah, no tech bro there. Nope. I wouldn't say you were a tech bro. But I will say that we're going to switch our... Wait, what am I doing? Here we go. No. Uh-oh. I didn't do something that I meant to do. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to have a Lono listening break, and then we're going to watch a video on how to buy shrimp. That's right. How to buy shrimp. But now we're going to play a Lono video, and honestly, I don't know what video we're going to play because I can't remember. But I do know that whatever video it is that I have queued up is a song off of the new album. The new album, I don't know when it's going to be released. They're working on the graphics right now. But this version is not the same version that is going to be on the new album. And I don't even remember what song this is. So let's just play the song and find out, shall we? Boop.
Okay, back. Okay, let's go. Weather's getting cold. Am I just getting older than everyone that I know? Here comes the grays, and nothing feels better than blues. Where are all the clowns that used to make us laugh? Don't give up, there is a dream. You're not making up stories again. And I don't know if making up is what it's all about. Yeah, will you come back home again while I'm still singing my best friend and I still believe in you. Yes, I still believe in you. Better get out of the way. You've been holding up for so long. Have another round, and everything's okay. Bitter than sweet, sitting around and just eating the world away till everybody's gone. Don't give up, there is a dream. You're not making up stories again. And I don't know if making up is what it's all about. Yeah, will you come back home again? Well, I'm still singing my best friend, and I still believe in you. Yeah, don't give
All right, there we go. So, Still Believe. That's what's on the new album. And it's a great version. This version's good too, but the new album's even gooder. That's right, even gooder. And let's see here. All right, so, okay, right, shrimp, okay. We're doing shrimps, we're trying to do shrimps. I don't know if we're gonna do shrimps because I tried to load this video and I don't really know if it loaded, so we're gonna see if it works. And if it doesn't work, then we'll do something else. But here's a video on how to buy good shrimpy shrimps. And you might think fresh shrimp from the deli counter, from the fishmonger counter, is better than frozen. But you might be wrong. So, here we go. Boop.
For anyone who has done a lot of shrimp peeling, shell-on shrimp can just seem like a huge hassle. And it's true, peeling shrimp takes some time. But I'm here to tell you that it is always worth it to buy shell-on shrimp. More on that after the break. Shrimp shells are pretty fascinating. They're made of a substance called chitin, which does not break down when heated. Chitin is also what gives mushrooms much of their structure, and it's why it's very hard to overcook mushrooms. I've got a whole video on that, which you should definitely check out. There's a link to it below this video. Beyond chitin, the shells contain proteins, sugars, and tons of ribonucleotides, which are water-soluble compounds that dramatically enhance savory umami taste. They're also rich in aromatic compounds that provide shrimp flavor. But I'm hearing you say, a lot of recipes call for removing and tossing the shells before cooking. So in that case, is it really worth buying shell-on shrimp? Still, yes. The shell provides protection to the shrimp during processing, freezing, and thawing. And even if you're going to remove the shells and cook the shrimp separately, the shells still have much to give. Check out this experiment. We simmered batches of 4 ounces of shrimp shells in 1.5 cups of water, covered for 5, 10, 15, and 30 minutes. After simmering, we strained the broth off of the shells and tasted the samples warm. Surprisingly, the 5 and 10 minute samples had more shrimp flavor than the longer cooked ones. It may seem counterintuitive that a shorter cooking time produces better stock, but there's good reason for this. While there are some savory compounds found in shrimp shells, such as the ribonucleotide inosittic acid, that are non-volatile and stay in the stock, the compounds that we associate with shrimp flavor are highly volatile. They are easily destroyed during cooking. The bottom line is all it takes is 5 minutes to turn discarded shells into a nice shrimpy stock. You can make that stock even more flavorful by first browning the shells in a little bit of fat. Because many flavor compounds are fat soluble, the oil will pull those out and hold on to them. And in addition, the high heat treatment activates the Maillard reactions. So we get hundreds of new flavor compounds as well. I don't know about you, but all of this flavor compound talk is making me mighty hungry. Let's go to the kitchen. The first step to any shrimp recipe is buying shrimp. And here, I want you to do something that might feel really counterintuitive, and that's buy frozen shrimp. The vast majority of shrimp sold in this country has been frozen. So when you see unfrozen shrimp for sale at the fish counter, it just means that the fishmonger has thawed out that shrimp. Buying frozen shrimp means that you're getting a fresher product that has not had a chance to start deteriorating. Simply put, frozen shrimp is fresher shrimp. You should look for IQF shrimp, which means individually quick frozen. Most of the shrimp these days is IQF, which is great. You can tell by looking in the bag and seeing that each shrimp is individually frozen and not connected to the others. This is a very fast way of freezing shrimp so that the ice crystals that form are very small and they don't damage the flesh. And it means that you can pull out just the number of shrimp that you need for that meal. Now the final thing to look for is the ingredient list. And here, perhaps not surprisingly, you just want to see the word shrimp. No salt and no STPP, or sodium tripolyphosphate, which can negatively impact texture. Wow, I think we know everything we need to know to make the most popular recipe ever developed at Cooks Illustrated, a perfect version of garlicky, lemony, spicy shrimp scampi. The first step is to peel and devein our shell-on jumbo shrimp. Now we all know that jumbo shrimp is definitely an oxymoron, but it is also the size of the shrimp that correlates to about 16 to 20 shrimp per pound. Just remember that the smaller the count number gets, the bigger the shrimp will be. What I mean is, 1 shrimp per pound would be 1 big old shrimp. Which begs the question, would you rather fight 1 pound shrimp or 16 to 20 shrimp that add up to a pound? Man, shrimp really try to confuse us, huh? Jumbo shrimp? Frozen is fresher? A smaller count means larger shrimp? I'm on to your little game. Here's how I like to peel shrimp. I run my thumb up the belly to remove the small legs. Then it's simple to peel the shell off like this. And for deveining, here's what works well. Simply run a paring knife along the back of the shrimp and then use the knife and/or a paper towel to pull it out. For For this recipe, we are going to brine our shrimp in a solution of salt and sugar for 15 minutes. Brining is great for shrimp because it adds juiciness, seasoning, and helps the shrimp stay tender as it cooks. And because they're so small, 15 minutes is plenty of time. Now time for our stock. We'll heat a tablespoon of oil in a 12-inch skillet over high heat until shimmering. Then we add our shrimp shells and cook, stirring frequently until they begin to turn spotty brown. That takes about 2 to 4 minutes. Then we add wine and thyme sprigs and simmer gently, remember, for just 5 minutes. We'll strain the mixture through a colander set over a large bowl. Next, we build a super flavorful base to cook our shrimp in. We heat oil, garlic, pepper flakes, and pepper in our now empty skillet over medium-low heat. We'll stir this occasionally until the garlic is fragrant and just beginning to brown at the edges. That's only 3 minutes. Now in goes our reserved shrimp and shrimp stock. We'll cover and cook this over medium heat until the shrimp are just opaque, about 5 minutes more. Now here is the key to really tender, juicy shrimp. We created tons of flavor by browning the shells and all of those aromatics. But notice that we aren't searing the shrimp. By essentially poaching them, we keep the shrimp beautifully tender. Next, we transfer the shrimp out of the skillet using a slotted spoon. To thicken the sauce, we add a lemon juice cornstarch mixture and cook for about a minute. Then we whisk in butter and parsley until combined. Back in goes our shrimp, and it's time to eat. I love serving this with crusty bread so you can soak up all of that sauce, but it's equally great on pasta. Wow, this is amazing. I get why this recipe is our top one of all time. Now that's obviously a pretty tough act to follow, but if you really want to get to know the magic of shrimp shells, you gotta make roasted shrimp. What's that? You've never roasted a shrimp before? Well, don't feel bad.
Alrighty, I just wanted to share the shrimp scampi, excuse me, recipe because it utilized the broth from the shrimp shells. So there we go. Now you know to buy shrimp frozen, buy them with the shells, use the shells to make your brothy broth. And yeah, Andre, the roasted shrimp did sound good. The video goes on for another, I think, like 5 or 6 minutes. I will post the link to the entire video once we're done here. And that way, if anybody who is watching this now or in the future wants to check out the roasted shrimp recipe, and there was one other shrimp recipe that comes after the roasted one, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't remember. But if you want to check out what those recipes were, by all means, you will have the technology, you will have the information at your fingertips. We're just not watching the entire video here on the stream. So, yeah, so you know, you gotta devein the shrimp, and then, you know, you gotta make sure that you use the shells, you guys. Don't waste the shells. I've got a bag full of frozen shrimp shells in my freezer, and one day I plan on using them. I don't know when, but one day. And Verity Hunt, good to see you. Not sure if you saw our little shrimpy shrimp fest. And so let's see here. You will be the shrimponic man, the shrimponic human. The shrimp, like bionic, but shrimpy with my little shrimp shells. Ooh, I wonder, can I build a big shrimp shell, a stinky shrimp shell costume for Halloween? I'll be the shrimponic human. I don't think that's a good idea. If I was more artistically inclined, I might run with this idea, but I can already tell that this is a bad idea, so I'm not going to. And, let's see, everyone is now singing the song. I don't know what song. I don't know what song. And a shrimp chip costume. There we go. I could go as a shrimp chip or a crab chip. Actually, I had some crab chips the other day from the Asian store. They came in a really big tin can. It was delicious. And we can rebuild him. Yeah, but I don't remember the song. I truly am drawing a blank. I mean, I can like sort of hear the whole but I don't even know if that's actually part of the intro of that television show. I am so confused. And Andre, cheese covered ramen costume. No. And let me tell you why. I don't really understand the whole cheese ramen thing. It tastes to me like really bad mac and cheese, and I like worse than Kraft. And I just don't. I don't understand. I mean, I get that like putting cheese in ramen is like this huge food hack that is super popular all over the interwebs. Like I recognize this, but ew, I tried it, and I've tried it more than once actually, and it's just not for me. It's just gross. Okay, it's a scary costume, not friendly. Okay, yes, it is a scary costume. It would be a scary costume because cheese ramen is just not, I mean, it's just not. I remember, I'm gonna blame this on David Chang, but I also feel like I could be wrong. But I think it was David Chang's, I'm gonna say it was David Chang. His instant ramen hack was with KewPie mayo, some garlic, and 2 slices of American cheese. And I tried it. Oh no, and I think there might have been an egg in there. The egg in the ramen, fine, no problem. But the with the KewPie mayo and the cheese, I couldn't finish the bowl. It was just gross. David Chang, it was just gross. I don't know. It's just gross. Although I really, God, you know, it was David Chang's Momofuku noodles recently that I was complaining about. So I don't mean to throw him under the bus again, especially if I'm not sure it was him, but well, David, you're going under the bus again. You're I don't know. And I know, right, exactly, Andre. That's nasty. And it's like a Gen X starving hack back in the day when Home Alone. I don't know what it is, but it was as discussed. But you know, here's the deal. First off, I like American cheese. Okay, you cannot make a proper bologna sandwich without white bread, French's mustard, Kraft American Singles, and Oscar Mayer bologna. That's how you make a bologna sandwich, okay? Don't get me wrong. I like American cheese. American cheese on a grilled cheese sandwich, I'm perfectly happy with that. I like American cheese. But American cheese on ramen, no go. And then KewPie mayo, you guys, I don't understand the obsession with KewPie mayo. Have you guys tried KewPie mayo? Do you even know what KewPie mayo is? I know some of you must know what KewPie mayo is. I know we talked about this on Daily Pigeon last week, I think, or maybe the week before. KewPie, yes, you're spelling it right, KewPie mayo. It's from Japan, and it's KEWPIE, KewPie. It comes in like a squeeze bottle. It's not this, obviously, but it comes in, and yeah, it's Asian mayo, it's Japanese mayo is what it is, and it's sort of hard to find in the US, but it's getting easier to find in the US, and it's sort of a cult favorite amongst foodies. And I'll tell you right now, it tastes like Miracle Whip to me. Yeah, exactly, Andre. It's very easy to find in the Bay Area. Yeah, in Seattle, actually, it's pretty easy to find too. But I'm not at all surprised that elsewhere, you know what I mean? We have a lot of Asians in our neck of the woods, and not so many Asians maybe in the rest of the neck of the woods. So yeah, it's easy to find in Seattle as well. And so not at all surprised that Bay Area's got it everywhere as well. But to me, it tastes like Miracle Whip. So if you're a fan of Miracle Whip, then by all means, try KewPie mayo. By all means, try KewPie mayo. And tell me where you think it ranks with the flavor profile. But I, like Andre, hate Miracle Whip. So for me, it's not the mayo for me. It's just not the mayo for me. So, you know, if you love KewPie mayo and we're stuck at a place that only serves KewPie mayo, come sit next to me. You can have all my KewPie mayo. All of it. Yeah, I was so close to a QB Mayo sponsorship, wasn't I? No, if I was going to get sponsored by any mayonnaise, and I think all of us already know this, it's going to be Best Foods and or Hellmann's. But let's see here. Miracle Whip is not mayo, it's salad spread. Yeah, or salad dressing or whatever it is. You're right. Miracle Whip doesn't call itself mayo. That is true. But see Honda coming in with some words of warning, apparently. I must tell you about an ice cream that should be good, but it's awful. Kona Coffee ice cream from Mauna Loa brand made from macadamia nuts. Oh, macadamia nut milk. Awful texture, not sweet. That sounds like a nightmare. I mean, first off, ice cream is kind of all about the texture. Second off, in my realm, ice cream is generally supposed to be sweet. So, yeah, that just sounds not good. And I'm kind of surprised that macadamia, the macadamia ice cream, macadamia nuts are so greasy to me and like sort of soft. I'm kind of surprised that they don't make a good ice cream. Or is it maybe just the coffee one that's gross? Yeah, I don't know. But I do know that not everywhere around the world ice cream is supposed to be sweet. I know that, you know, in the Philippines, they have cheddar cheese ice cream that they love. And then there's fish, there's fish ice cream that they love. So I'm going to go out on a limb and hope and assume that neither the fish nor the cheese ice cream are of the sweet variety, but I don't really know. And shock, coconut milk ice cream can be really good, but it's always too sweet. I don't know, man. I think I would rather my ice cream err on the side of too sweet than not sweet enough. But I do know that coconut milk ice cream is, the one time that I've had it, it's a very rich mouthfeel. You know, like it's almost too fatty, which I've never heard those words come out of my mouth in regards to food, but it is like, it's almost too luxurious. And let's see here. Andre, you have a cashew ice cream place a block up from your house. Yeah, I've heard that cashew ice cream is super good, actually. Never tried it, but I've definitely heard good things about cashew ice cream. And I have had a vegan cheese sauce that was made with cashews, and the texture was remarkably appropriate. I think that cashews, they've got such a high oil content, you know. I feel like, and they're sort of sweet to begin with. I feel like cashews actually are have a good potential for an ice cream substitute, though I've never had it. It does seem like it would be a very good substitute. And so let's see here. Yeah, Cindy, Miracle Whip is just bad salad dressing. Exactly. And you know, here's the thing. So we've got this burger joint in my neighborhood called Boss Burger, and they have this stuff called Boss Sauce, which they brag about like being so delicious. I took one bite of the Boss Sauce and I was just like, okay, I already know the recipe for this sauce. The recipe for this sauce is catsup. And when I say catsup, I don't mean Heinz ketchup. I mean Bobo brand catsup with weirdness. That's right. That one. Miracle Whip and cayenne pepper. To me, that was what the flavor profile was of their like famous burger sauce. And needless to say, I didn't eat their famous burger sauce or their famous burger because it was covered in that sauce. It's just gross. And let's see here. So, Shock, you really like the Indian Kesar Pista. Okay, first off, 97% sure I didn't say that right. Second off, what is that? Even if I did say it right, what is that? I don't know. Oh, okay, Kesar Pista is a kind of ice cream made with pistachios. Oh, okay. Okay. It has other spices in it too, not just pistachio. All right. So then I'm assuming that the pistachio ice cream isn't the same as the Italian pistachio ice cream. What is the Italian pistachio ice cream called, you guys? Doesn't it have a name? A specific name? Am I making stuff up? I know I make a lot of stuff up in my head. But I feel like... Isn't there an ice cream at the end of an Italian meal? Spumoni. Spumoni ice cream. Yes, see, Honda, Spumoni is what I'm talking about. That doesn't mean it's really what I'm talking about. Spumoni is what I'm thinking. Is Spumoni pistachio ice cream? Is my next question. Because I feel like it might be, and I also feel like now that I said it out loud, I'm totally wrong. And, Spumoni has multiple flavors. Well, then clearly I'm totally wrong. Okay, is pistachio one of them? Okay, Spumoni is pistachio, but it has candied fruit too. I had that in my brain as well, but I wasn't sure if that's what I was thinking of. And so, so now Shock's coming in. Pistachio is a flavor of Spumoni. So Spumoni... You could have... So is Spumoni ice cream with candied fruits in it? And then you could have different flavors of that ice cream, which would make it different flavors of Spumoni? Is that what I'm understanding? Okay, cherry, pistachio, and chocolate are classic Spumoni. Okay, so... all together in one scoop? Or... Hold on. Spumoni is a molded gelato, a lower fat, made with layers of different colors and flavors, usually containing, so it's sort of like Neapolitan, only vertical instead of horizontal. I had no idea. I've always been afraid of that ice cream because it's got chunks in it, and the chunks don't look very tasty to me. All right, then. Learning something new every day. So we learned a couple new things today, or at least I did. We learned about Spumoni, and then some of you might have learned about how to buy some fresh shrimp. And some of you might have learned where not to buy fresh shrimp, which would be at Burning Man. Don't get your shrimp at Burning Man. Variety Hunt, exactly. Isn't Spumoni just Italian ice cream? No. It's not, apparently. And no, Shock. Okay, Neapolitan has things in it. No, it does not. So it's not, okay, so it's like Neapolitan, only it's not like Neapolitan, I guess is what I meant. What I meant is, it comes with different flavors in the one thing. But you're right, the Spumoni has chunks within the flavors. The Neapolitan just has the flavors. Different flavors at that. So now that that's clear as mud, yeah. And Cindy, exactly, I'm just not a fan of lumps in my ice cream either. You know, I mean, I know that Ben & Jerry's literally made their entire brand on chunks in ice cream. But quite honestly, you know, I'm all about the ribbons and the swirls, but not necessarily the chunks. And now you want a Heath Klondike bar. Nice. So tell me, Shock, what would you do? for a Klondike bar? You don't have to answer that. I just had to take a swing at the low-hanging fruit. Right, exactly. Now, Cindy, I will say this. While I agree, I'm not a fan of lumps in my ice cream. There is a little bit of an exception, which is Ben and Jerry's, what is it, the chocolate brownie mix or whatever, where they've got chunks of brownies in with the chocolate ice cream. I don't mind that because the brownie chunks aren't so chunky and their texture works with the ice cream, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And let's see here. Oh, so you just got in a car with some strangers, huh? Is that what you did, Shock? You got in a car with some strangers and you're going out to the dollar store for a Klondike bar? That's what you did. That's what you would do for a Klondike bar. Get in a car with some strangers and go to the San Miguel dollar store. And then, okay, Andre. So Andre is coming in with pistachio ice cream is green and it just has pistachios, which I think is what I thought Spumoni was. Cindy Krause, you pull the nuts out and eat them after the ice cream. That is funny. I actually, do and don't do that. I will pull the nuts out or like the big chocolate chunks, and I won't eat them. I just won't eat them. They'll just sit in the bowl. I eat around them. All right, you guys, before we get into our strange ice cream eating habits, because I'm sure we all have some of our own little ones, it is 1 minute to the bottom of the hour. And so I want to thank you guys for hanging out here this Sunday evening, this September Sunday evening. And I want to thank you guys for all the fun chat, all the great chat, the bits, the subs, the gift subs, etc., etc. Hopefully we will see each other tomorrow on Daily Pigeon Live with Andy Bumatai. But if we don't see each other tomorrow, I hope to see you all on Wednesday. Remember now, Wednesday is 4 p.m. West Coast time. I know, it's hard to remember. Wednesdays is 4, Sundays is 5, Saturdays is 6. So, 4 p.m. Wednesday, West Coast time, we will have another Chatter with Statter show, and I have no idea what we will chatter about. But it might be ice cream. It probably won't be shrimp, because we already talked about shrimp. So, there we have it. And Andre, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Mr. Andy Bumatai. I do not know if he is lurking or not, but let's see here. It looks like he might not be, and that's okay. That's okay. Because you see, it's a weekend night, and people got things and stuff to do, which is why I'm so excited when everyone chooses to hang out here with the Statterbox crew. And exactly, Andre, we're not going to talk about shrimp ice cream, although I wouldn't be surprised if it exists somewhere. But we're not going to talk about it. Except for we already did. All right, whatever. Okay. And Gina, don't worry, I don't have nothing else to do either, which is why I'm here. So you're in good company. We're in good company. Okay, so if you're watching this later on or on the YouTube side, don't forget to like and subscribe. And super stoked to see all y'all here. We will see each other soon, perhaps as soon as Monday. But I'm looking forward to Wednesday, y'all. All right, take care. Have a good one. And yes, Shock, thank you. I will not forget that link for the rest of the recipes for the shrimps. No shrimp ice cream. All right, then.